Thank you to Bored AF Drama Watcher, Karen, Crystal, and Marina for pledging on Patreon. Good morning. I had my coffee this morning. It's like 10 o'clock. And did you know? I have merch. This is my mug. My Do I Look Deaf Now mug. You can get this if you want, or anything else. I'll have the link down below. So today, we're gonna do a Q&A, because why not? I'm feeling personal today and feeling like I just want to talk about whatever. We are joined by cats this morning. We have Zane over here. Simon down there. Here's a photo of him awake. If you hear screaming, it's him. I'm also gonna do my makeup while we do this, because why not? I already got some things on. I got my skincare, my sunscreen especially. Shout out to the Welsh twins, because if I don't put it on, I can feel them like going in my ears and being like, sunscreen. Alright, so I asked you on Instagram, on Twitter, and in the YouTube community tab, because I was like, let's just go all in, right? And one question that came up twice is, how are you doing? Depends on the day. Honestly, it really does depend on the day. Overall, generally, I'm more at peace than I once was, you know? If you want to be more specific, though, today I am just very sad. I've been feeling very sad for like the last couple of days now. Very depressed. Depression flare-ups are occurring, which is funny because I had therapy last week and she was like, how are you depressed? And I was like, I'm fine. I've been fine lately. And then the next day I'm like, yeah, okay. Sure, Jan. But yeah, it's a lot of, you know, just being depressed about life in general. I mean, obviously good things have happened, but other things not so great, you know, work-wise, social life-wise, love life-wise. But it is what it is. Try to get through that. How are you? Any body mod you'd like? More tattoos. I have 2. And I was supposed to add to this one sometime later this summer after my birthday when I would actually be able to save up for it. But my artist quit. I had to find that out the hard way. Yeah, so that's been something. There's also a possibility of adding on to this one, but I also hate how it ended up healing, how it looks after it's healed, in quite a few areas. I actually want a gift card, a $100 gift card to the shop that I frequent. I don't know when I'm actually getting it, but I don't know. I thought, you know, now's the time to get the Pokemon tattoo I've been wanting. Get an Eevee on me somewhere. Most random TED Talk you'd like to give. I actually signed up to do a TED Talk twice, I think, or just once or twice. I don't know. It was supposed to be the one that I signed up to. It was like about bringing together technology and community or something. We never heard back. I don't know if anyone heard back because applications were last year. So, you know, COVID was happening, is happening. But yeah, it obviously would have to be like accessibility related, deaf related, disability related. I can't think of anything else. Well, except maybe child abuse that I would talk about in a TED Talk, honestly. Is there an instrument or another language you'd like to learn? My Mandarin could be better. I studied that for a few years and it's absolutely terrible now. Even just with text, you know, written Mandarin and whatever. Absolute crap now. Don't even get me started on tones. With progressive hearing loss, I'm sure it would be even worse now. Going back to Mandarin wouldn't be too bad, and even Korean. Obviously, Korean's a popular choice lately, but if I had to choose, it would be those 2. Name signs for the kitties. Zane doesn't have one, funny enough, and I've had him since it's been almost 10 years now. Simon has one, because it's so much easier to give him one, because all he does is scream at me. Especially on Twitch. He's very popular on Twitch, aren't you? For screaming, and I just... Oh, that's why. What's that? Woo! 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 Anyway, so Simon has a sign name. So the sign for meow is like this. So basically just that. Although I guess if you wanted to, you could do an S. Initialize it, but I mean, what's the point? Just, you know. Zane doesn't have one. Sorry. I mean, typically, from what I know, from what I've been told, names with only 4 letters don't get name signs anyway. So, or typically they don't. So, poor cat just wants this light. and he can't have it. Are you glad you have ASL in your life now? Yeah, it's giving me more opportunities that I wouldn't have really had if I hadn't started learning it. I do need to work on it now some more, honestly. My vocabulary isn't great. And, you know, I made more friends or acquaintances knowing it. So yeah, when will you visit Ireland and fall in love with it? When I am hired to do something in Ireland? That's really my go-to answer for any time anybody asks me if or when I will go anywhere. It's like, hey, will you come to Australia? Or will you come to, you know, insert country here or even state? When will you come back to California? When will you come back to California or this and that? I do not have the money, unfortunately, to go everywhere. Even one trip to a state is very expensive for me. So, you know, I go anywhere, almost anywhere that I am hired to go, whether it is for a speaking engagement, an acting thing, a consulting thing. What do you use to edit your videos? Adobe Premiere Pro. I am strictly about that Premiere life. I know some people prefer Final Cut. I have friends who use Final Cut Pro. I cannot comprehend Final Cut Pro with every fiber of my being. I just like Premiere. It's a lot easier for me. Granted, I still only do the most basic of things because my brain cannot comprehend anything excessive. Which is a bit of a shame because, you know, I'm always like, oh, I'd love to do something more fancy with my videos. But do my videos really need anything fancy? You know, I'm just someone who sits down and talks to a camera. Like, even when I make more content that has clips of things, whether it be movies or whatever for Film Fridays, I don't know, I just don't feel like it needs a whole lot. I like this one. How long do you think you'd last in the world of A Quiet Place? You will find out on July 14th. That's me hinting at a project that I've been hinting about for the last couple of videos now. But in real life, if this were to actually happen in real life, listen, deaf people are loud, and I feel like I should make a separate video on this because some of us on Deaf Twitter were talking about it. Deaf people are loud, okay? Like, I don't think any of us in real life would survive that long because we're loud. But of course, I'm sure, you know, when it comes down to it, we would be doing our best to not screw things up. Still, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's very hard to say. Honestly, I wouldn't even want to live in the whole apocalyptic world thing, you know, because listen, people in real life in this pandemic have been something else. I don't think, just going by everything we've had to witness and experience, that I would just want to be involved in that. So I probably would have just been like, see ya, and yeah, we won't go into, let's not make this too sad, but I mean, if we're being honest, that just doesn't seem like a fun time. Do you have any tips on gaming when you're deaf? Because I'm struggling. Find deaf accessible games. That's going to be in the #1, obviously, because that's going to make it easier. But of course, there are games that I've played that aren't the most deaf accessible, whether it's with subtitles or lack thereof, or terrible subtitles, or audio-based games, like challenges in there. I actually have a clip on Instagram of me making fun of one of them. So, like, for me, I love playing Fortnite for a reason. It's by far one of the most accessible games ever. What with the visual effects bill and everything. As much as I like games like Apex, in theory, you know, Apex is a very popular game because people are getting sick of Fortnite one way or another. But Apex, while it's accessible in some ways, like with the chat box, which I find very nice, I wish Fortnite had that actually, I don't find Apex accessible in regards to knowing where my enemies are coming from, where I'm getting shot from, and also if you have visual hearing, headphones matter. I have the Alienware. I don't know exactly which kind they are, but there's the little sound effects box program thing, and what I've been able to do recently, now that I finally figured it out, I turned the bass all the way up, because if you don't know, with my hearing, high-pitched sounds are kind of non-existent most of the time, but bass and, you know, deep tones, perfect almost, not really perfect, but, you know, doable. So I've also turned up the voice clarity as well, which I don't know if it's made it easier with voice chat, because at least with voice chat, if you're playing with randoms, they don't really have great mics to begin with. Unless you happen to run into someone that's a streamer. Or if you play with streamers, obviously. Like streamer friends. They'll have better mics. So it's easier. So when they have better audio, the voice clarity effect does a lot better. Of course, everyone's experience with headphones is going to be different. So I can't be like, yeah, if you get Alienware headphones or Razer headphones, that's gonna work for you. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. But yeah, experiment with headphones if you can, and get your headphones from some place with a very good return policy. Alright, let's move on to Twitter. Are you enjoying getting back into your early morning gym workouts? Alright, so if you don't follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I've been going back to the gym. It's funny, I just got a comment recently and I was like, you look like you gained weight. Okay, why is that important? It was just an observation. Like I don't know this? Like I haven't been in this body for 29 years and noticed things in the last couple of years? You think I don't know? I look at it every day. But anyway, so yeah, I've been going back to the gym, but at 4 a.m., which I used to do years ago and I was in the best shape of my life then. But that's what I do now. And because no one's there. Well, there's a few people there, but usually everybody's so significantly spread out. It's usually once the 45 minutes sense kicks in and the hour that everybody's starting to come right before they go to work. Almost nobody there. I can focus on weights and not have to worry about people watching and dealing with random weird strangers. But also, if I'm trying to maneuver stuff so that it's my height, I don't have to worry about looking silly and giving up when I can't figure it out. What's been the most surprising thing since being fully vaccinated and going about life as normal again? I don't think I can say life is really so normal again because, you know, things just aren't. But also, I don't think anything really surprises me anymore, to be completely honest. I mean, I live in an area where people don't really care that much about people, to be quite frank. And I don't know, nothing's surprising me right now. Biggest frustration that messes with you. I don't know if I can squish it down to one thing, because I have been a very angry person growing up, and I have my own anger management issues that I don't know if I can. Ableism. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's a good one. Ableism. Because that's, besides sexism, ableism is one of the biggest things that I have to deal with. So I guess that. Is there any content you look forward to making that until now you've not had the headspace to make? Everything? I mean, honestly, I'm finding that I still struggle with wanting to do anything, from a mental health standpoint with everything going on, from the fact that looking at my channel every time I talk about this, things blow up in a way that I don't want it to, so I hate actually talking about it unless it's behind a paywall. I'll have a video about that. On the channel membership thing, if you want to be a channel member and get an exclusive extra video every month, join button's down below. I don't know, YouTube has been content creating in general, to be quite frank, has just been so difficult for me. Whether it's been on YouTube or Twitch, I've just been sad, honestly, thinking about it. And I'm like, okay. Which is sad in other ways, because I don't want to be sad about it. What am I need a thesaurus. Anyone? But honestly, like, I just want to talk about whatever, whenever, but then I have to worry about the algorithm. But then even if I do something that the algorithm prefers because of my niche, the algorithm says no. So it's just been a mess on top of a mess on top of a mess. But more child abuse awareness things, like, just in general, and more about the whole story behind everything going on with me specifically. What are your plans or wishes for the future? 100k subs, 100,000. I feel like because I'm closer to that than I'm not, and it's been so long that I'm just like, that would be so cool though, like. And then we'd have the little plaque and put it up here somewhere, and then I'd cry at it forever. And happiness, of course. Moving out of state would be nice, preferably West Coast, like just get away from East Coast entirely, something different. Los Angeles wouldn't be too bad because of deaf community, disabled community, all that. I can see my dad rolling his eyes. If you didn't know, my dad's from Los Angeles, actually. He grew up in Los Angeles. So anytime I mention Los Angeles, firstly, he goes, oh, the liberals. And two, yeah, that's the whole thing. And two, he's just like, why though? Like, why Los Angeles? Like, why California in general? But I mean, in a perfect world, it would actually be San Francisco. Or even San Diego. Mostly San Francisco, but San Francisco is like, yikes. Change of place, change of spit. I don't know what I'm saying. You know, I have a couple of friends here, yes. But, like, everyone that I would really connect to, you know, in terms of being near disabled people, being near deaf people, Los Angeles, people that I know, they're in Los Angeles. And just being able to have work again, that would be nice. Because obviously with COVID things. Actually, that's the next question, which is, are you excited to start doing speaking engagements again post-COVID? Or a bit nervous about getting back to normal, anything you're dying to talk about in a speech? I'm so excited to start doing speaking engagements again. That is the big money maker, and it will be even more of a money maker because my rates are going up. I miss it. Man, I miss it. I've done a couple of speaking engagements remotely, and there's a couple more coming up, more so like a podcast and one panel. But it's just not the same. It's not the same. You know, I want to be able to fly to the place and explore the city, complain about inaccessibility at airports. Like, come on, I miss that. I don't miss the inaccessibility part. No. But it seemed like such a tradition, a yearly tradition, that at least 3 times a year would happen. You know, and I mean, sometimes, you know, I'd get to see my friends, depending on where I would be going, you know, I'd have some downtime. I'd be like, yo, I want to go do something. But anyway, that's my cue to say, if you would like to hire me for a speaking engagement for your business, your conference, your school, or you want a consultation, please hire me. My website is down below. And now, last but not least, we have YouTube. Zany poo. Zany poo. Ay! Aw. Adorable. How are you feeling about your place in the deaf community right now as a mainstream deaf person? Honestly, my feeling, and this is honestly in regards to disability community as a whole, not just deaf community. I've been feeling like, kind of like I'm not fitting in anymore and feeling left out. And it sucks, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Doing any dating. So I remember when I did a video on my breakup last year, and I was like, I'm not gonna date again until I'm like 30. And well, that's next month. I ended up doing some anyway. And I had the apps and everything. I've been on 2 dates in that time frame. And they've all, one ended absolutely horribly, actually. It was a total shit. And then the other one was just, it was like it happened, and then I was stuck being like, okay, cool, so what is going on? And it was like being strung along and strung along and strung along in ways, and then it was kind of like, okay, whatever. But other than that, no, I'm not dating anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. I've turned off dating apps, to be quite frank. I hate the dating scene in Charlotte and North Carolina in general. I need to move and just find new people altogether. How are you finding a new season of Fortnite so far? God, I hate aliens so much. I am a horror sci-fi fanatic, right? I have been growing up. Love them. But God, if there's 2 things that either bore the hell out of me or I just straight up hate, is zombies and aliens. Unless they're in Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's an exception to everything, to all the rules. But really, you're not really finding that much, I'm not finding that much aliens in Fortnite yet. I haven't played a whole lot. But I hate the UFOs. They're like the mechs, they're like the helicopters or the planes or whatever. And the cars, they're annoying and I don't like them and I want them gone. Can I just have season 3 from 3 years ago again, please? But I mean, Fortnite is my true love. So, am I still here for it? Yeah. Do you prefer to communicate by speaking or ASL? Honestly, it depends on the situation. If it's for public speaking, like panels and workshops. Typically, if anything work related, honestly, I prefer speaking just because I am fluent in English. Just basically basic conversational in ASL. So for everyone's safety, it's better that I use spoken English and have an ASL interpreter interpret that into sign language. Because once I did do a whole workshop, I did a whole speaking engagement, an hour or something, in ASL. When I got the video back with the captions, I realized that the interpreters interpreted many things incorrectly. Could have been a fault of my own not signing things correctly because I make a lot of mistakes. So it's just easier. That way, if I'm out and about in everyday life, you know, going to restaurants or shopping, whatever. It depends. If it's just leisure, then I will actually just sign. I'll be like, good morning, how, you know, whatever. Or I'll have to type something down if I need something. Because if I speak, everything goes out the window. If it's business stuff, like if I have to go do taxes, things like that, it's kind of a mix. I would just prefer not to speak altogether. I don't think you're ever gonna really get me to pick one over the other because I've been speaking English for so damn long. And I like English. I like yelling in English, and I like certain words that I just like to yell for no reason whatsoever. ASL is, you know, has a special place in my heart as well, and sometimes it's just a hell of a lot easier. Where in the world would you like to travel to? Bring me back to the West Coast, please. I have more places that I would like to go to in California. Even just in Los Angeles, there's more places that I'd like to see. Or San Diego, San Francisco. I wouldn't mind going to Seattle and Portland. I feel like I've been to one of those when I was a kid because I have family on the American side up there. But I was like 8 years old, so I don't remember a damn name, but that would be nice. Country-wise, Taiwan, South Korea, Singapore, England. I do miss Toronto. You know, that was a thing for me for like 3 years on and off when I was dating someone that lived there. Which sign language would you want to learn apart from ASL? I guess BSL, British Sign Language, would be a smart move because obviously my American deaf friends are my biggest percentage of deaf friends. Second largest would be my UK friends. So I guess, yeah, BSL would just be the smartest option. What's your favorite sport? Not really much of a sports person, I'm gonna be honest with you. Growing up, I did like soccer, so that was probably the only thing that I looked forward to in gym class. I'm actually pretty decent at it, in my opinion. What is your favorite food and drink? Obviously, coffee is my #1 drink of all times. Preferably iced coffee, but, you know. I did grow up a Coca-Cola fiend. But I don't really drink it that much anymore. If I do, it's the zero whatever. But iced coffee, give it to me, man. Just give it to me. Food, ramen, and like the traditional like Japanese type, obviously. Also tacos. I love me a taco, man. Do you have any ambitions or dreams? Move somewhere else entirely and start over. That is a whole lot of money that I don't have with a whole lot of work I don't have. But one day that would be very nice. Just go to the other side of the country. And that looks like that's it. I appreciate you being here and watching this Q&A if you made it to the end. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future Q&A videos later on down the road and videos in general. Please consider giving a like with this video. Consider leaving a comment and also sharing the video from the YouTube page. All sorts of engagement like that really help with the video growth, the channel growth, and will help bring people in because that video will have a higher chance of going out to YouTube channel recommendation box and the like. So I would really appreciate if you did all that. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. And I and the cats over here will see you later.